Well, shalom, homies. What is happening with all of you guys out there? How have you been? How's your week going? Are you guys ready for Shabbat? I am. Definitely, we are out grinding hard, working really hard, and I cannot wait for Shabbat. It is my favorite day of the week, without a shadow of a doubt. Without any kind of, there's just no other day that really even comes close to it. And when you look at having a day off like this, you know, what religion out there does this for you? When you are talking a spiritual life, when you're talking a life of, call it anything, call it religion, right? You don't have a single religion out there that does this. You do have the Seventh-day Adventists, but they all get in their cars and drive many miles to get to where they're going. And then there's all the other Torah commands, which they don't keep as well. So you only have partial commandment keeping in that religion, which, when you get into a Shabbat, your eyes definitely become open. You learn what our Creator wants, how He wants us to operate, and it is just a fantastic day. And so for those who have never watched anything on this channel, guys, we are the people who love our Creator. We love His words from the front of the book to the back of the book. It is something that we have written on our hearts, minds, and souls. And we do this in an attempt not to sin against our Elohim. And I know there's a lot of Torah keepers out there, but there's also a lot of Gentiles. And the Gentiles, they don't seem to care about the ways that our Creator wants us to be and how He wants us to operate. And it's not a flag of glory having the Gentile banner. It's literally a flag of rebellion. When you are classified as a Gentile, that means, according to scriptures, that you are not in covenant with our Creator. Now, to get into covenant with our Creator, it's fairly simple, right? It's a lifestyle of learning the laws, statutes, and commandments that are found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. It's about applying those into your life, and it's about walking them. And when we walk them, by default, we become set apart. We become very much different from the rest of the world because we don't sound like the world. We don't look like the world. You wouldn't find us in the same things in the same locations that the rest of the world is in. And so by default, we become way different. And a lot of times, a lot of people don't want to be different. Everybody always wants to fit in. They want to go with the flow. They want to not swim against the whales that are out there. And when it comes to Torah keeping, we are literally the minnows swimming against sharks and large fish, and everybody's going in the opposite direction. And everybody seems to laugh and joke, and they think it is so funny that you are law keepers, that you would keep the old laws of Moses. And they say this in ignorance because when you talk to people, they don't know what the Torah is. It's just something that is, it's stories up to 10 years old and history after that. It's not imperative into your life. And that is where we have gone astray. That is where we have failed the Creator of the universe, who has never failed us. And if you are taking a breath as you are hearing this, that is the non-failure that our Creator has given to us. The ability to keep ourselves alive by breathing through the little two holes on your nose, this beautiful invisible air that all of us has to have as it goes into our lungs, and our lungs will take it and it will take the oxygen out of it and put it into our bloodstream. And what we breathe out is carbon dioxide. And the oddest thing is that all of this world, the trees and the plants and the animals, that's what they eat. They eat the carbon dioxide. They breathe that in and they breathe out the oxygen. So everything is in perfect harmony that our Creator has made. everything that he has done and that he has given to us is beautiful. Now, we live in a world that has become extremely anti-Yah. It has become anti-God, it has become anti-Messiah, and it's worldwide. It really is. There's, a mystery of what a man is and a mystery of what a woman is anymore. And, when I was growing up, there were those people out there that were very much different, but it has become mainstream, and so mainstream that there's a brokenness within the world system as it is. But it's not all the fault of the people. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are very confused about their identities, and they're very, very confused about who they are or what they could be. And when I say it's not their fault, first and foremost, nowadays, a young boy's testosterone is lower than that of a man in the 1970s who's 70 years old. Now, how did this happen? How did estrogen levels in women go to nothing and testosterone levels in men become null and void? Well, it comes down to what we eat, what our food supply is. And for most of the world, the food supply is poisoned. Now, in the United States, it's actually far more poisoned than most of the other countries. There's a tremendous amount of countries that don't allow American food in. And for years and years and years, you have these GMO crops that are completely almost satanic, right? They're a satanic breed of Nephilim engineering. And, man has gone to make different wheat seeds that are copyrighted and patented and unable to, they can't reproduce, right? They are a one-time seed. And, we've seen this for years and years. And my dad was a farmer. I grew up on a farm. That's all we did is we had wheat and alfalfa and beans. We had a lot of stuff out there. I learned how to farm, but I also learned, things that the government was doing and the kinds of pesticides. And even to this day, my stepdad will cough and hack and wheeze because he was explaining how one time on one of his dry farms, he was running this purple chemical stuff across all the plants out there, and it got into the cab and it got into him, and he got very, very sick from it. And this is the stuff that is put all over our foods. And when our food supply has been poisoned to such a degree, when people are eating it, all of a sudden we are no longer the healthy humans that we were supposed to be. Now, we've been talking, my wife and I, and we've been trying to tell people for years and years and years about colors and dyes and various food colorings, things like blue 5, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1, blue 40. All of these things chemically and scientifically, for every bite you eat, literally makes you dumber. Eating a bag of Skittles, you do not walk away with the same brain power that you had prior to that. Same for M&Ms. They're all completely poisoned, yet this is what is in the food supply, and this is what we're feeding our kids. And, we have things, say, for instance, laptops, right? The studies have come out that have shown that girls that are using laptops at an early age, 40% of them have miscarriages further on in their future. And so this is an attack on the human race in all terms. And when you look at what is happening in the world, it's a genocide. It is a slow kill. And it is from our skies, it is from our water, it is from our food, it is from absolutely everything. And once you wake up to this, and once you understand that the powers that be aren't truly here for your health, you start looking at other places for your food. You start trying to find the organic farmers. You start looking for those who are awake with you. And as we are growing up and as we have our kids grow up, it is very imperative that us as parents have our eyes opened and that we don't feed our kids this candy. There's no candy that is legit. All of this sugars. Look at the diabetes. Look at what is happening in North America alone, and it's worldwide. People are dying of diabetes all over, and it's simply a carbohydrate overload. And you can completely, without a shadow of a doubt, cure type 2 diabetes, and 100% of it is diet and exercise. And that's not something that you go to these white coat guys. They don't tell you this. They'll say, yeah, here's some insulin, start jabbing this up, and all the stuff like insulin and metformin. It is very, very dangerous to you because it only masks the actual effects of a very sick body. So yes, your blood sugar might look better, but you're very, very sick, and it can be corrected. And there's things. I just did a large article write-up on the forums at 153news.net about my journey with diabetes. And a lot of people don't know this, but in January 5th of this year, my doctor, who I'd had in the States for a very long time, he says, Jason, if you don't start taking insulin by this time next year, you will be dead. And I said, Doc, I am not taking insulin. And he started swearing and cursing, and he's a friend of mine, and he's just like, Jason, I will pay for you to come to the States, to come to this diabetes clinic, and you will get you fixed up. And I'm like, Doc, I'm not doing it. I'm not going to Big Pharma to correct a problem that I have done to myself. And I will tell you that without a shadow of a doubt, I can walk around with my blood sugar at about 115 now. And I can pop it up to 180, and it goes back down. And I was started off in the 300-400s, and I had completely crushed my body because I was eating way too many sugars, way too many carbohydrates, and 100% of it, again, is diet and exercise. So as I sit before you today, as I was put on death row this year, we'll see if I truly die, because I told him I'd just start fasting. I told him I would change my diet, and he's like, that will not help. It'll never be able to happen. It was not going to work. And this guy was a medical doctor for 40 plus years in the industry. And he saw all these people come and die. He's like, your feet are all going to fall off. And I'm like, yeah, Doc, I know. But I'm not subjecting myself to the big pharma. And so my diet today is chicken and lettuce. And I do a tremendous amount of fasting. I do 4-day fasts in a row. I usually don't eat until I eat one meal a day. And my body is recuperating, and there's a lot of natural things such as cinnamon extract. That is I don't know exactly how they get it out there, but it's something with a high pressure water system is how they are actually able to extract it. It's not just cinnamon, but it's cinnamon extract. And since I'm going out in the weeds, I'll continue on out in the weeds with you guys here. But the difference between those with diabetes and those without, it comes down to gut health. We've killed stuff. We killed the good bacteria in our stomachs. And what we have to do is we have to, number one, stop eating breads. Stop eating there's no candy, no sodas, no nothing. You got to get your life under control, and you got to fight that addiction first. And once you fight that addiction and you cut that off, and you're a protein style diet with lettuce and things of that nature, life is good. But I can't eat breads anymore. I can't eat flour. My wife makes me almond flour. She sticks almond flour in with an egg, and you can have eggs, you can have all that stuff. But if you want to stay alive without subjecting yourselves to the hands of man, it's simple enough to do. And so you guys can definitely read about it. I put my journey as well as the natural pills that I take to help me. But the answer is not in a pill. It never will be. It's not in an injection. It's not in any of this stuff. It is 100% diet and exercise. So with that, guys, let's get into that. That was a long intro here. What you're looking at right before your eyes as you are looking at Yah Scriptures. And it is a beautiful, beautiful version of this. This is Big Blue. And Little Blue is coming out very, very soon for everybody that's doing pre-orders. If you're looking at ordering them, I would get them now because it's $25. And by the time we get them here, it seems like we're always having to adjust things here and there because there's all these fees along the way. So guys, get them while they are good now. We honor the price of the $25, and it is the entire 66 book, restored name with our creator's name, Paleo Hebrew, his son's name, beautiful Messiah, YHWH, his name in Paleo Hebrew. And This is Big Blue. This Big Blue book is a limited edition book. Again, we hope that we're able to print another version of this in the future. It's always up in the air because we kind of play it by hand as we are working through this ministry. And Yah Scriptures isn't just a Bible place that you can get scriptures. You can get them all free. You can go to YHWH, and all the downloads are absolutely free of charge. And you can get the PDFs, you can get the eSword module, you can also get the Android app. And you can also, every scriptures that goes out, you guys are absolutely helping us support our brothers and sisters in chains. We do a tremendous amount of emailing. We're always using stamps to get a hold of our brothers and sisters. And so there is a spot there where you guys can help donate using stamps for our prisoners. And there's been a tremendous amount of lives that have changed because of this. And we also have a podcast. It's called Behind the Bars. And it is one of the things that, because of all the people in prison that we have talked to and that we have gotten scriptures to, there's a lot of stories out there. There's a lot of stories of redemption. There's a lot of stories of hardened criminals, people that have done very evil things, and they are on their knees. We have brothers who literally shot people in the head, and now they're wearing tzitzits. Now they're meditating on the word of our Creator. Now their hearts have been circumcised, and they live in the word. And we can't undo the past. None of us can. And a lot of us come from very sketchy past. A lot of us have a lot of crime in our past. A lot of us have a lot of drugs in our past. A lot of us didn't have Torah growing up. We didn't know what the Torah was. We were living in the once saved, always saved. The Jesus will forgive you, and we're waiting on the rapture bus. It's never going to happen for the lawless, and we were deceived. So, guys, I believe the promises that we can repent. We have seen a tremendous amount of people inside of scriptures that have come to the grace of our Creator, that have come back into Torah, that have changed their ways. Definitely different kings inside scriptures that have changed their ways, changed all their stuff, and Yah takes them back, saves their life, gives them other things, right? So the hand of our Creator is here to turn our hearts, minds, and souls, and this is why we never need to stop telling people about the way forward. And the way forward is not in religion. The way forward, which is actually what the Torah means, it means instructions, and the way forward is the Torah. And it's not a Jesus saves all. It is that our Messiah Yahushua, Yeshua, will save those who are Torah observant. And it clearly says in Matthew 7, "Depart from me, you who work iniquity." Okay, so here we guys are going. This is the last chapter of First Esdras, which I'm glad we're out of this book. It is a very long book, but I'm trying to get to the second book of Esdras because it's very, very good reading. We are going to be learning a tremendous amount of stuff that happens the moment after we die, the classification, all of this stuff. But I didn't want to just jump into it because I thought First Esdras was very, very important. So let's do a quick breakdown of the reign of Yoshiyahu in chapter 1. Yoshiyahu, those who know him as Josiah, he was a righteous king of Yehuda, and he led a major reform to bring the nations back to the Torah. He reinstates the Passover. The people of Yehuda celebrate the Passover with great joy. And despite his faithfulness, Yeshayahu is slain in battle by Pharaoh Necho. And I think it was Way of HaKodesh that was talking about this, and he finds this fascinating, and I do too, because the Pharaoh, Necho, was on a mission from Yah. He had his own orders, and sometimes, we will jump into the middle of a battle that doesn't necessarily need to be ours, and we will get smoked for it. He was a great king. He did a lot of good. He was a very missed king. When he was gone, people really missed him. And so we need to make sure that we are seeking our Creator with prayer, fasting, obedience, and that we get the message of what we need to do, especially in a case like that. Chapter 2 of 1 Esdras. Yoshiyahu's death, his son Yehoachaz is made king, but is soon deposed of by Pharaoh Necho. Yehoiakim is placed under the king and serves under Egyptian tribute. Nebuchadnezzar of Babel conquers Jerusalem, taking many captives, plundering the temple. The temple is desecrated. Sacred vessels are carried off to Babel. The people of Yehuda are taken away into captivity as a result of their rebellion. Chapter 3 and 4, you have the three wise guys, the three wise men that were deciding that basically that changed the future of all of Yisrael. They went to the king and they were trying to become his right-hand man, the made man. And what they did is they came up with who is the most powerful of any. One guy said it's a woman. One guy said it is wine. Then the smart guy said it was Yahuwah, because it was all about him. And the king figured this out. And basically, women are tough. Women are absolutely can control a man. And a man, a good woman and a good man make an incredible couple. And it's meant to be like that, right? The women's are the smaller vessels of the men. And, a good man that's leading the house always needs a solid woman who's there to whisper in his ears. And as long as both people are Torah observant and you're doing the will of our Creator, it is a very, very amazing thing. So chapter 4 was the same thing with the three wise men. Chapter 5, they started arriving in Jerusalem. The exiles reestablished the altar. They resumed offerings. The Levites and the Kohanim are appointed to their roles. The foundation of the Hayekel is laid, the temple, and the opponents of Yehuda try to halt the building, sending letters to Artaxerxes. And chapter 6, Darius finds the decree of Koresh, and he allows the Yehudim to rebuild and orders the work to continue without hindrance. The temple is finally completed and dedicated with joy, sacrifice, and observance of the Pesach, of the Passover. The Levites and the Kohanim purify themselves and lead the people in worship. Chapter 7, Ezra. A skilled scribe and devoted follower of Yahuwah's Torah receives permission from Artaxerxes to lead a second group of exiles back to Jerusalem. Ezra is given authority to teach the Torah and appoint judges in Yehuda. He brings with him valuable offerings for the Hayekel and restores proper order in worship and governance. Chapter 8. So this is one of the big pieces of this entire thing, because chapter 8 and 9, which we're going to read today, go together. Ezra gathers all the people by the river Awa, and where they fast and pray for a safe journey. They're making their way back. They arrive in Jerusalem safely, delivering the offerings to the temple. Upon arrival, Ezra learns some very bad news, that the people, including the priests and the Levites, have intermarried with pagan nations, violating Yahuwah's commands. In anguish, Ezra tears his garments and beard and prays, confessing the sin of the people before Yahuwah. So that takes us into chapter 9 right here, guys. And this is, again, the final chapter in this saga of this book. And what you're looking at right here is you guys are looking at the Yah Scriptures app. It's free of charge. You guys can download it now. It's at YHWH.com. It's for any Android device, TV, anything with this Android. And it'll also be on the Play Store, hopefully in the next 4 or 5 days is where we're looking. So here we are. First Esdras, chapter 9, verse 1. Then rising from the court of the Hayekel, Ezra went to the room of Yochanan the son of Eliashib, and remained there, and ate no bread, nor drank water, mourning for the great wickedness of the multitude. And there was a call in all Yehuda and Jerusalem to all those who were of the captivity, that they should be gathered together at Jerusalem, and that whoever did not meet there within 2 or 3 days, according to when the ruling elders appointed, their cattle should be seized for the use of the Hayekel, and himself thrown out from those who were of the captivity. So you either come to this meeting or you're going to lose your cattle and you're out. It's game over. And in 3 days, all those of the tribe of Yehuda and Benjamin were gathered together at Jerusalem the 20th day of the 9th month. Now, again, we only have, essentially what we're working with right here is we have 3 tribes, all right? We have Judah, Benjamin, and some of the Levites. Not a lot, but the majority of them were Yehuda and the small amount were Benjamin. But the rest of the 10 tribes are all in captivity to this day. In fact, end time prophecy talks about the tribes that are coming, that are that at the end of time, people will learn the Torah. They will discover the Torah. They will start leading their families in the Torah. They will themselves be in the Torah. And this is when the second Exodus is going to be. Second Exodus is going to be something spectacular. And all of us from all four corners of these plains are going to be called back over to Jerusalem. And according to prophecy, the people that are over in the lands right now are completely destroyed. They're it seems like the job that we're going to have is body cleanup. And, that's probably shocking to a lot of people, but that's what the scriptures say. And so when you look at who are the chosen people, well, you wouldn't have abortion clinics from one side of the coast to the other, right? You wouldn't have the great evil that is happening right there. And so when all of that is gone, then we will be called back for the second Exodus, and it's going to be an amazing time, because that's where I hope that we can all high-five each other, give each other big bear hugs, celebrate the obedience that has led us to success. Verse 6, and all the crowd sat shivering in the outer court of the high echo because of the bad weather present. So Ezra rose up and said to them, you have transgressed the Torah in marrying foreign wives, and so have increased the sins of Yisrael. And now in confessing, give esteem to Yahuwah Elohim of our fathers, and do his desire, and separate yourselves from the Gentiles of the land and from the foreign women. Guys, this is the same commands that we have today, right? We are not supposed to be part of this world. And the biggest thing is sometimes for us guys, you'll get these beautiful women and they're fluttering their eyes and they captivate us and they charm us, and we are willing to do things that we shouldn't be doing, because then you will be unequally yoked. And some people will never ever come to Torah, right? You can work on them forever and ever and ever, and it depends on the level of brainwashing that has occurred as to whether or not they will ever be part of Yah's people. And so it's very, very important that we don't set ourselves up for failure. And a lot of us are in unequally yoked marriages. And I hear a lot from a lot of you guys out there that struggle in this. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's where one spouse comes into Torah and the other one is living like a Gentile. There's a lot of conflict. 10. Then the whole crowd spoke and cried with a loud voice, as you have spoken, so we shall do. But because the people are many, and it is bad weather, we cannot stand in the open. And this is not a work of a day or two, seeing our sin in this has spread far. Therefore, let the rulers of the multitude stay, and let all those of our dwellings who have foreign wives come at the time appointed, and the rulers and the judges of every place with them, till we turn away the wrath of Yahuwah from us for this matter. Then Yahonathan, son of Ashel, and Yakeziah, son of Tipwah, opposed this matter upon them. And Meshulam and Shabbathai, the Levite, supported them. But those who were of the captivity did according to all these matters. So you're always going to have people that are like, hey, this is garbage. We don't need to do this. This is not for us. Look, we're already married. And this is not an easy request, right? And it's not really a request. It is that they need to do it to get back on track with our Creator. The problem is, again, that as unequally yoked people, especially coming from Gentiles and pagans, people are stuck into things like Christmas and Easter. And imagine telling a Gentile that, you can't celebrate Christmas. They're like, oh, that's Jesus' birth. That's when we get on our knees to Nimrod's phallus and decorate it in gold and silver and adorn it with a crown on top and have our kids bow to it, right? They're not down with it. So continuing on. And Ezra the Kohanim chose for himself the leaders of their families, all by name. And on the first day of the 10th month, they sat together to examine the matter. So the cases of those who held foreign wives was brought to an end on the first day of the first month. And the Kohanim who had come together and found to have foreign wives were of the sons of Yeshua, son of Yatzadok, and his brothers, Maaseiah and Eleazar, and Yerev and Geliyahu. And they gave their hand to put away their wives and to offer rams to make atonement for their sins. And of the sons of Immer, Kanani, and Zebadai, and Maaseiah, and Shimiah, and Yekiel, and Uzziah. And of the sons of Pashur, Eloenai, and Maaseiah, and Yishmael, and Nathaniel, and Yozabad, and Elisha. And of the Lewites, Yazabad, and Shimi, and Keliah, who was called Kelita, and Pethiah, and Yahuda, and Eleazar. Of the Kodesh singers, Elishiv, and Zakur. Of the gatekeepers, Shalom and Telem. Of those of Yisrael, of the sons of Parosh, Ramiah, and Yiziah, and Malikiah, and Miam, and Eleazar, and Malikiah, and Beniah. Of the sons of Eliam, Mattaniah, Zechariah, and Avdai, and Yeremoth, and Eliyahu. And of the sons of Zadu, Elioenai, Eliashiv, Mattaniah, Yeremoth, Zavad, and Aziah. Of the sons of Bevi, and Yokanathan, and Kaniah, and Zavadai, and Athalai. Of the sons of Bani, Meshulam, Malak, Adonai, Yashuv, Sheelel, Ramath. And of the sons of Pakath, Moab, Adnah, and Maashiah, Kelel, and Biniah, and Mattaniah, and Bethsaliel, Biniah, and Menashiah. And of the sons of Karam, Eleazar, and Yishiah, and Malachiah, and Shimiah, and Shimon. And of the sons of Kashum, Mattanai, and Mattatiah, and Zavad, Eliphelet, and Yirmiah, Menashe, and Shimi. And of the sons of Bani, Madai, Amran, Uel, Biniah, and Bediah, and Wanya, Meremoth, and Eliashiv, and Mattanai, Yaasu, Bani, Binui, Shimi, Shelemiah, Nathan. And of the sons of Ezra, Shashai, Azarel, Aziel, Shemariah, Amariah, Yosef. And of the sons of Nebo, Mattaniah, Zavad, Yadu, Yoel, Biniah. Okay, that was dry reading. That was really hard reading. I'm probably sure I slaughtered a few of these. That being said, this is why scriptures are very, very important, because we get a historical understanding. We knew these people had come into this place, but there was a lot of people that had foreign wives. So Ezra's a family wrecker when it comes to this. And it's not really Ezra. I mean, he mentioned it, but everybody is the one that decided to do it. And the problem is, if, we do things that are outside of the will of our Creator, then we pay the price. And sometimes it's at the expense of our soul. And what is the value of a person's soul, right? A soul is more valuable than a person's life, because the soul will live on when our bodies are gone. And so we have to be very careful, according to what Torah says. We need to guard our souls. 36. All these had taken foreign wives, and they put them away with their children. And the Kohanim and Lewites and those who were of Yisrael dwelt in Jerusalem and in the land on the first day of the 7th month. So the children of Yisrael were in their dwellings. And the whole crowd came together with one accord into the open place of the Kodesh porch toward the east. And they spoke to Ezra the Kohanim and reader to bring the Torah of Moshe, and was given of Yahuwah, Elohim of Yisrael. So Ezra the chief Kohanim brought the Torah to the whole crowd, from man to woman, and to all the Kohanim, to hear the Torah on the first day of the 7th month. And he read in the open court before the Kodesh porch from morning to noon, before both men and women, and the crowd gave heed to the Torah. And Ezra the Kohanim and reader of the Torah stood up on a wooden platform which was made for that purpose. And beside him stood Mattaniah, Shema, Aniah, Azariah, Uriah, Kilikiah, Maaseiah, and on the right hand. And on the left hand stood Pediah, Mishael, Malachiah, Kashium, and Kashbaddanai, and Zechariah. And then Ezra took the book of the Torah before the crowd, for he sat esteemed at the head in the sight of them all. And when he opened the Torah, they all stood straight up. So Ezra barak Yahuwah Elohim Most High, and the Elohim of Hosts Almighty. And all the people answered, Amen. And lifting up their hands, they fell to the ground and worshipped Yahuwah. Also, Yeshua, Bani, Shervia, Yamin, Akub, Shavanathai, Hadiah, Maaseiah, and Kelita, Azariah, and Yozabad, and Canaan, Peliah, the Lewites taught the Torah of Yahuwah, making them all to understand it. Then the governor spoke to Ezra, the chief Kohen and reader, and to the Lewites that taught the crowd, even to all, saying, This day is Kodesh to Yahuwah, for they all wept when they heard the Torah. This is a big thing, right? This is something that a lot of us will experience once we experience the Torah. Once we realize that there is a better way and a better path and a set of guidelines and a set of instructions that have been left for us, and there's a hope. And it's not the hope of this fake rapture that's going to come and take away all these disobedient people chowing down on their pork rinds. This is a hope for the obedient. This is a hope for those who have laid their hopes in our Messiah, the hopes and the obedience in the Torah. And sometimes we will weep. Sometimes we weep when it is so good that we have a Creator who is so amazing that He does what He does. And that same Creator has all these birds that are singing behind me. I have my door in my room open to the outside, and you can just hear the wildlife from the jungles that come in here and talk as we're talking. 51. Go then, and eat the fat, and drink the sweet, and send portions to those who have none. For this day is Kodesh to Yahuwah, and be not sorrowful, for Yahuwah shall exalt you. Now, this is not eat the fat. This is not eat the fat of the meat. We're talking about the eat the food, right? We're not talking fat of the food. We're talking the good things that everybody's going to have, right? It's a Kodesh day. It's a feast day. Again, it is not saying to eat the fat, which completely violates the Torah command that we have not to eat the fat. It's not healthy for us. It's one of those things that, people will literally take the fat off the side of their steak and use that and eat that as a treat. In fact, we have this guy that we have down here, Evil Eric. He's been against us. He's a straight up Christian and has been fighting us for nearly a decade. And he takes pig fat and boils it down and puts pig fat into all of his stuff that he sells people. And we've gone to war over the pig fat. In fact, this guy, I've told this story before, but for those who are new to this, we used to be pretty close to him. And one time he sent us on WhatsApp pig fat, and he had it weighed out at 6.66. And he said, thinking of you, and he sent that our way. And I was like, wow, this guy's a demon. This guy is a devil. And so, there's a lot of devils and demons that are out there that are doing this. 53. So the Lewites proclaimed to all the people, saying, This day is Kodesh to Yahuwah. Do not be sorrowful. Then they went their way, everyone to eat and drink, and be joyful, and to give portions to those who had none, and to rejoice, because they understood the words in which they were instructed, and for the reason they had been assembled. And so that is it, guys. That is this book. This book is officially over. Another one down as we roll through these things, and that was all 9 chapters. Now, Second Ezra is again, it is simply amazing, and the first couple of chapters are crazy, but there's going to be some stuff that you're going to see in here. Ezra is a legend when it comes to the people of scriptures who have absolutely changed our entire direction. He was built for a reason, and he's going to be doing some fasting in this book. And that's one of the things about fasting is not only is it very, very good for you, and it's very hard. Like fasting is, it's very, very unenjoyable. Like right now I'm like really hungry, but, and it's, your tummy sits there and rumbles and blah, 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 blah. But you know what? It makes you tougher. And it also makes you realize that you're alive, because there's nothing that keeps you more alive feeling than that gnawing in your stomach. And I truly believe that Yah is there to make sure that we can do things like this, right? And when we're fasting and praying, it goes up. I think it goes up into a faster form. I think our Creator listens to us. As long as it is His will, our Creator's always out to help us out. And so, guys, I had nothing but love for you guys. catch us on the Shabbat. Catch us on our main channel, YHWH and the Torah. We have a reading that we do. It's noon our time. I don't know what time it is your guys' time. Keep your eyes peeled. We would love to have you on there from wherever you guys are, Rumble, Odyssey, or wherever. We can only be live on one channel, so it's on our main YHWH and the Torah channel. So guys, come and visit us there. And until next time, I hope you have a good day. Much love.